Hi there. Okay, I'm waiting for Tachi to. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Jenny. Hi, Tachi. How are you?
Good. Happy Friday.
Yay! Happy Friday. Oh my gosh, I think I clicked on a filter, yeah, and I got a little heart in my cheek.
Oh my
That's
gosh, what's going
cute.
on here? I have a mask on now. I don't know
I don't know if I can take that out, but I probably can. Let me
how do I
take a.
take this out?
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Okay,
okay, I got it out. Okay. Oh,
okay.
good.
I think we're
How are
good
you,
now.
Tachi? How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Fantastic. Thank you for having me again.
Yes, we're so happy to have you back.
Yes, it is great. And I don't know if you want to wait a little bit for your followers to arrive. If we,
Yeah, we can wait a couple of minutes,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
let's
while
do
we're
that.
waiting, let's see. Let me- We can wait a few minutes. And while we're waiting, why don't we tell the ones that are here what we're talking about today a little bit and who you are?
Sure, sure. Uh, my name is Fabi Guntovitch. I wanted to see how I could, um,
Pin it, right?
yeah, put my name here, but if you could
Let me
just
see.
do that every once in a while so everybody knows who I am.
Okay.
I live in Brazil, and the reason that I'm using um, Equilibrium account is because most of my followers they do not understand English. So for them to see me live and not understanding what I'm talking about is very frustrating. So
Right. Of course.
that's why I decided to do it through your
Through our page.
Instagram account. Yes, through your page. So I hope this time everybody will enjoy it and do
Yeah,
not
and then
feel
we're
frustrated.
also gonna, when we're done here, we'll save it. And then if some of your English speaking followers can always just go back and watch it after.
Yeah, yeah. And what I'm doing is translating the live to putting
Okay.
subtitles in Portuguese. So and then I'll post it in my Instagram account so everybody understands. It's everybody
Yeah.
enjoys it. So,
Yeah, it could be frustrating to join something and not understand the language.
yeah, yeah, I can imagine. And today it's very nice. I don't know how many of you were here when we had our meeting last week talking about self-love. And we self-love is our first relationship, right? In our lives. It's the relationship we have with ourselves.
Right.
And and then we add on layers of relationships with other people, with our parents, with our siblings, with our friends, and so on. And oh, great, Elida, you were here. Oh, I'm so happy to see that you came back. And and today I was talking to Tachi, and she asked me what I could talk more about in the this meeting and next week because there's a lot of things we can
So
talk
much.
about love, relationships, self-love, and life. Mostly because life is about relationships, right? Our
Right.
happiness depends on the relationship we have with ourselves and with the people around us. And we build our lives, uh, especially on these relationships, right? Like depending on how we communicate to others, how we relate to others and to ourselves, we are happier or not so much. So our happiness depends on our relationships. Do you agree?
100%. Because as happy as we are, the happier we are, the better we can be for other people.
And if we are not happy with the relationships we have in our lives, like if we are having trouble in the relationship we have with our family, with our loved ones, with ourselves, we cannot be happy at all because we feel very, very bad, you know? So our feelings depend on our relationships, and our relationships also depend on our feelings, because when we are not feeling good, we are not so nice with others, right? And not so nice with ourselves. So
Yeah.
everything is interconnected. One
Mm-hmm.
thing depends on the other, and it builds a circle. And when everything is going well, the circle is, I call it a virtual circles. I don't know if you understand if my English is good. If not, guys, please ask me. You know, if my English is not very, very understandable at some point. But when the circle is positive, it's amazing. Everything goes well. You know, like we are happy, our relationships are good, we are feeling powerful, and we love ourselves, and we believe we can do anything, anything's possible, and we feel loved and we love. It's amazing. But on the other hand, when we do not feel loved and we do not love ourselves and we feel afraid of loving others because it might bring pain, then it's a vicious circle, you know, it rounds in the opposite direction. And one bad thing feeds another bad thing in our life, and it goes backwards. So in order to make this circle go round the right way, you know, the positive way, we gotta be strategic. We've gotta be conscious. And this is the subject we are talking about today, about strategic relationships, which means how do we turn this circle the other way around when it's going bad ways, you know? Like, is the thing is, this circle, it goes automatic once it's riding in one side, you know, in one way. Imagine the... Como se chama a roda gigante?
Hold on. I think your internet might be, or is it my internet? Because I can only hear some of the words you're saying. Can you guys see her
Really?
fine? Okay, now you're back. Okay, we're good. Now I see you.
Do you guys listen to me well, or is everybody experiencing this connection trouble? Oh, okay.
Oh,
Eco is saying
apparently
touch,
it's mine. All right.
because mine here looks full, but okay, good. Thank you. Oh, fantastic. And so imagine, what's the name of roda gigante, Tati, in English? Or Jenny, please help me.
Okay,
The
so
spinning.
everybody says they.
Roda gigante, como chama? Alguém me ajuda aí? Alguém que fale português? Yeah, I think Tati. No, it's not roller coaster, Danny. Roller coaster is the one that uh, it goes like that. The wheel that I'm talking about, that's giant wheel. I think it's giant wheel, maybe. I'll wait for Tati to come back. Here in Brazil, it's called giant wheel. It's that. Okay, now you're back.
Back.
Good. I was just asking everybody if they that spoke Portuguese here if they knew the name of roda gigante in English.
Roda gigante. Oh, Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel?
Yeah, the big one that we
Oh,
go.
yeah. So that giant wheel, it has a power. So when it's turning, it takes a huge force to stop it. And imagine the force it would have to take to stop this wheel and then make it go the other way around. Because it's called inertia in Portuguese, the force that keeps things going the same direction it has been going for a while. So
Right.
it's the same thing. When our will of power, of energy is going in one way, it has a power in itself to keep going that same way. It's automatic. And if when it's going on a direction that it's not good for us, like when we're not feeling good, when our relationships are going sour, when we don't feel good about ourselves, we don't communicate in a good way, we are, like
Right.
rispid or
Negative.
rude to others, and we don't feel loved. It has a power in this wheel that keeps moving us on the
The
same
momentum.
direction, further and further and further. And for us to stop it going that side and to stop it and make it go the other way around, we have to do a lot of
Work.
work, of force, of power, of attention and intention, because the automatic is on the wrong side of the
It's
force,
easy.
like the Jedi.
Yeah, the automatic is easy because we're used to it.
Yeah. So being strategic is paying attention to what's going on and having a clear intention of what we do not want to have in our lives anymore, what we want to have in our lives, and what we are willing to do in order to change it. So when you talk about
That's a very important that you said right now is what we are willing to do is very important. Because one thing is to say, I'm not happy, but are you willing to take the steps to change that circumstance?
Exactly. And since it, as I told you, to change the route of things takes a lot of effort, we really have to ask ourselves if we are really willing to, because we have to put a lot of effort into it, and sometimes we say to ourselves that we want to change things, but actually what we want is things to change.
Yes, please.
There's a big difference. Big difference. Because one thing is I don't like it the way it is, and I want it to change. And I sit and wait. And I blame others, and I tell others they have to change, and because I know what's right, I know what's good, I know what I want, and it's their responsibility to change things in my life. Does it make sense?
It would be
But
so good if it was that easy.
that's usually what we do, right? We
Yes.
don't talk about it, because when we talk about it, when we say it, even saying it, it's weird, right? It's,
Yeah.
oh, it's not possible. It's not going to work.
It's not gonna work.
But how come we do this every day? And I tell you, me included, we are humans, and that's what we do. We know what's right, we know what's good, we know what's ethical, we know what we want, we know how things were supposed to be, and we believe that knowing is enough, wanting is enough, and we just sit down and blame others for what's not happening, the changes that are not happening. Right. And that's weird to say and to listen when we talk like really open, like we're doing right now. And that's why therapy is so amazing, because we have a space where we can talk openly without shame, because we are not going out with friends and telling them, oh, you know what, I'm not happy with my life, but I'm not willing to do anything about it. I'm just blaming my husband, my mother, my friends, my life, my work, and I'm waiting for it to change, and it's absurd that it does not change. We don't do that. We feel ashamed.
And sometimes we can actually go and talk to a friend, and you know that you're just gonna say, and they'll tell you something like, I just want to vent. I just want to say this, because we know that if we go to someone like a therapist to talk, you're gonna say, stop. I'm not gonna let you do that to yourself. We're gonna be conscious about this.
Or maybe she might let you do it, even though it's not good for you, but she will make sure you know what you're doing.
Right.
Right? Because the therapist has no power over what you do or not do. So letting you do something or not letting means nothing, because it's your life. You're going to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
What I can do, what a good therapist can do, is show you what you're doing and helping you have a clear mindset to really ask yourself, do I want to keep doing it, or I better change it for my sake, Yeah. And it's really interesting when we talk about it, because it's like fichas vão caindo. It's like pieces of the puzzle where falls on the right spaces, like the puzzle.
Things will fall into place.
Fall into place. Yeah. Thank you, Tati. That's it.
Well,
and it's amazing.
Important. Like last week when we talked about self-love, right? I feel like this whole week I've been more conscious about it. And I've been more conscious of the words that I'm using and of the actions that I'm taking. And even if I realized that I wasn't thinking of myself first, I was like, oh, but wait, self-love. Think of yourself, then do something. Because now something clicked because we talked about it.
So happy, so proud of you.
So hopefully, when we talk now about more relationships, we can teach people something. You can give us, and I say people, but me included, you can give us some tricks and tools to start changing our lives for the better.
Sure. I'll do that, I promise you.
I know.
And I just have one question for you. Do you think this change on the words you use with yourself are also happening about the thoughts you have about yourself? Or okay, good. That's amazing. Yes. That's important, because
even more important.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we say it or not. Once the sentence is built inside us, it's a state, you know?
Right.
It's an affirmation.
But
Either way.
and that's what I've been very conscious about this week is the thoughts that I am telling myself. Because I
Fantastic.
realize that those are the thoughts, depending on how I talk to myself, is how I'm going to talk to others around me. And
Yes.
even more important, when I hear someone say something, I'm telling myself it's a reflection of them.
Wow, Tati, that's amazing. That's fantastic.
So it's
Yeah.
been a
And
very good week.
you might have noticed it, and if not, pay attention that the things we think, they provoke a feeling.
Yes.
And the feeling provokes an action. Does it make sense? So
Yes.
if a, a, a thought shows up like this, I am about to talk to someone that I really care about, and that I'm anxious because I haven't been talking to this person for a while, and whatever she thinks of me is very important for me. So if right before eu preciso que você não entre, amor, agora, depois, para deixar. Obrigada, Lina. If right before this encounter, I think, and it's automatic, right? It's not conscious, but a thought comes like this. Last time we spoke with her, it was so bad. She was so rude to you. I don't think she likes you. You know, she's not gonna help you in any way. You know, it's a waste of time. You're gonna suffer. It's gonna be painful. And this kind of thoughts, they come like this, you know, really fast and really low. They are not shouting inside of you most of the time. They are really like, oh, it's not gonna work. She's not gonna like it. You know, it's like that. And
Yeah.
if we are not paying attention, we don't even listen to it. We just feel a tightness in our hearts, you know, and we feel, oh, I know it's not gonna work. It's gonna be bad. And so this feeling of tightness, of not feeling comfortable talking to this person, is because of that thought that came first, and that we don't even, most of the time, we don't even notice it.
Right.
And when this feeling comes, do you think I'm gonna be really open to that person when I talk to her? When I answer the phone, I'm gonna be, oh, that's so nice to talk to you. I miss you so much. It's so nice that we are reconnected. Or I'm gonna be like this, oh, hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. So you see, and this is a strategy. This is strategic relationships we're talking about right now. Because the thought that preceded the feeling, that preceded the action, really points in what direction this relationship is going. So if I have a thought, oh, it's not gonna work, and I feel it's not gonna work, and I fear it, if I just let go and I go with the flow, I'm gonna be, hello, what will she get? She's
Right.
gonna get someone on the other side of the line, me, that is telling her without words, but with energy, like with the tone of my voice, with what I say, that she's not really welcome, and that I'm not open. And if I'm not open, if she's not really welcome, she's gonna be defensive about this. She's gonna grow a wall between us, because it's not safe to be around someone that is like me, you know? And there is no way this relationship is gonna work, is gonna prosper or flourish. There is no way. So, on the other hand, if I have this thought, oh, remember the last time you talked to her, it didn't work. And instead of, and I will feel the pain in my heart because of this thought. But instead of going with this negative flow, if I just say, oh, whoa, 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 stop, wait a minute. Yes, last time I talked to her, it wasn't very nice, but maybe I wasn't very well, very fine with myself. Maybe she wasn't in a good day, but it was in the past. I'm a different person now. She's a different person now. Maybe she's better, maybe she's worse. I don't know, but I'm willing to give it a shot. And I don't want to listen to it. So whatever my unconscious mind is telling me is about the past, it's not about the present. So I'm not going to go with this negative flow. I'm going to shift it right now just because I can. And I am that powerful, you know? Right. When I do that, my heart just woof opens up. And it's so good. It feels so good. And yeah, and when she calls me to talk about this important matter, I'm going, oh, hello. It's been such a long time we don't talk. It's good talking to you. The vibe she gets from me, it's an open vibe. It's a positive one.
Everything.
She's not going to build a wall between us. She's going to say, oh, you know what? I thought that it wasn't going to go like that, because she also remembers the last time we talked and that it wasn't very nice. But since she's not getting this negative vibe this time, she might give this a chance this time. And when she does, no walls were built. And we do have a chance to connect with open hearts. And the chances that we change the direction of this relationship is huge. And it's amazing. And that's what happens.
So I have two questions for you to follow up on that. Okay? Yeah. What happens when that feeling has happened with a relationship that someone that is close to you? Because I'm sure a lot of people have.
All the time.
Right. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you talked to 6 months ago. Could be that person that you talk to every day, twice a day, twice a week. But somehow you've built, right? And this layer starts to pile up, and this wall just gets bigger. And now both of us. So that's the first question. And then the second question will be, what about those people that you have this pre-existing situation and you haven't talked to them in a while, and then it just builds bigger, and then the longer you go without talking, this expectation that it's going to be not welcome leads you to not call them, or maybe even lose a relationship because you're afraid, or I'm not sure what it is, but there's these feelings. So what happens in these two? How can we change these two relationships that we can have for the better?
I'll begin with the second question, okay? And then you bring me back to the first one, right?
Okay. Too much.
So, remember, the way we talk to ourselves are mirrors to how we relate to others. So when we talk about an old relationship, that we just keep this person away from us in order to protect ourselves from feeling pain, right? Because that's what it is. What happens is that you are telling yourself that what this person tells you about you, you don't want to hear. Because when you are afraid to connecting to someone that brought you pain in the past, it means that the perception that this person has of you hurts you, right?
Yes.
Does it make sense? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And you're telling yourself that the perception, the bad perception she has of you makes sense, makes more sense, is more true than otherwise. So it means that you are agreeing with her, with this person.
Okay.
And you don't even notice it. So what you gotta do, or what you could do, is ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Why am I so afraid of connecting this person? Maybe she's an awful person and I don't want to be around her, and it's fine, you know, because you do not have to put yourself in this situation at all. But if this is a relationship that you, in your heart, miss and think it's worth trying once more, then you got to ask yourself, what am I so afraid of? I'm afraid I might reach out and she does not reach out back, or she keeps me in a distance. Okay, but if it's hurting me, being away from her, it's hurting me because I miss her. And if I want to give it a shot, I have to ask myself, what do I have? Today, I have pain and no relationship, right? If I open up and I reach her and I tell her how I feel, if I put myself vulnerable, if I'm brave enough to put myself vulnerable and tell her, I miss you, and I'm sorry we kept ourselves from each other with this distance for so long, and I don't see why we should keep doing this. And I'm sorry if I did something to you that hurt you in any way. I didn't mean it. Then you might have a chance to reconnect with this person if she is ready for that, because there is the other part that it's up to her. And if she's not ready for that, you be at peace or in peace with yourself, right? Because you did what was right for you, and it's okay. But
you gave it a shot.
The courage to do so depends on what you think about yourself, regardless of what might happen in this encounter with her. So if you think you are a very nice person, and if you believe that you are just and truthful with yourself, and you are fine with your value, regardless of what might happen in this encounter, you will have no problem whatsoever reaching out, open up, and being vulnerable. Because whatever happens will not tell you what you value, how much you value, how much you're worth. Will tell you just what she's going on right now in her life and how she feels about herself, her readiness about it, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself, first, do I really want to reconnect? Is it my relationship with this person is important or not? If not, let go, send love, oponopono. Send her love, wish her well, and move on with your life in peace. Or if it's really important to you to reconnect with this person, make sure your worth, your value is untouchable. Open up, man up, put yourself vulnerable, and see what happens. And then
see what happens.
Go on in peace, whatever happens. This is also strategy.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. And it goes back to self-love, right? Loving yourself, trusting
Everything goes
yourself.
back to self-love. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Everything. Because when we do not love ourselves, we cannot be in peace in any relationship with anyone. It always goes back to self-love. And so what we can do is always, before any sensitive encounter with another person, we prepare ourselves for that. We ask ourselves those questions. We talk to ourselves about our value, our worth, our love, our lives, and we open it for whatever outcome shows up. This is the thing. We try all the time to control outcomes and results. And we do not have control over anything other than ourselves, towards ourselves, you know. So we have to let go the control over the outcome. And if before this, in any difficult encounter or situation, we do this prep work, you know, asking ourselves, talking positive and loving to ourselves, and we surrender the outcome. Like what I usually do is before something that is very important to me or a difficult situation, I always ask the universe, or you can call it God or whatever more powerful presence that you usually connect. I always ask, please, whatever is better for everybody involved in the situation, I wish that it happens. You know, not what I want for myself, but whatever is good and best for everybody involved. And I'm fine with it. Because I may not understand right now the outcome, or it may be different than what I'm hoping for. But if I do trust that everything happens for a reason and for the best of everybody involved, it's easier for me to make peace with it, right?
Of course.
I did my part, my share. And that's what
And
matters.
you did it with love.
And you did it with love and respect for others and for yourself.
Right.
And this is the beauty of being strategic, you know, because
Right.
it's all about love. It's not about manipulating someone else or manipulating the outcome or the result. It's simply about showing up with love and with responsibility for yourself, for your life, and surrendering the outcome for a higher force, for a higher power. It's amazing.
It is. I say that often. I was like, you know, so if something didn't turn out the right way or how I expected, I always go back and I think, well, did I do it with a pure heart? Did I do it with good intentions? And did I mean for it to go well? I did. Okay, well then that was how it's supposed to be. And hopefully that person or the situation or whatever the case is will eventually understand. Because I know that as long as you're coming from a good place, I feel that you can't go wrong because your intentions were pure. I mean, obviously you can go wrong, but you...
Because going right or wrong, it does not, it depends, you know.
Right.
And the thing is that one thing you can add to this line of thought, of thinking, is how you showed up with this good intention. Because one thing is to have a good intention, right? And act accordingly. Another is how you communicate this good intention. And another even is how the other person is able to receive that from you. So if you add a second step, which is on your side of the court, you know,
Right.
that is how you communicate this good intention, then you are doing all you can. And the how is usually through self-respect and empathy combined. So, and then strategy tells us that when we begin any conversation, letting the other person know how much she is valued, how much she is important, and that we can imagine or we are willing to understand how she feels, she will not build that wall, and it will be easier for her to receive whatever words or things we are offering her. That's the how. Because sometimes we have the best intentions, but if we don't prep the other for listening to it, she might not be able to understand what we meant, because she built a wall, a defensive wall.
Yeah. Because just because I lowered my wall doesn't
doesn't
mean
mean
that
she
the
did.
other.
It doesn't mean the other person. Both of us have to lower these protective walls we keep on adding in our relationships. So it's not enough that we lower ours. We have to put ourselves towards the situation or the other person in such a way that we at least do not provoke her to build her own wall, or we help her put it down. And the easiest way to do that is through compliments, through empathy or empathic phrases, understandings, and telling her that we can imagine how difficult it might be for her, showing her that we are really there, and not only for ourselves, but for both of us. And then you can tell anything.
Then you speak.
And then
Let's
you
start
speak.
kind first, right? So then how do we do, like what I was asking you before, is with someone that you have a lot of contact with, right? That you've both now built this wall. How do we start? I know you said that, you start with something kind, but if it's someone that has already, that relationship has built so many walls, how do you start lowering them little by little? Because you know that your wall is not going to suddenly disappear, neither is the other person. And sometimes it's hard to just start with a compliment.
It's hard?
It could be.
If it's hard, then you have to ask yourself, why this is hard? Because everybody have something good about themselves, right? Everybody. And we have to be truthful. We cannot tell a lie, like tell a 90-year-old woman that she's, she looks like a kid, in
Right.
her appearance. It may look inside, but
no, hold
everybody
on.
knows what we are.
I guess I didn't explain myself properly, because I don't mean that it's hard to say a compliment, but you might be hesitant to start lowering the wall because of the pain that you've experienced in the past.
Yeah. Okay. The thing is, why does it hurt so much? That's the first thing you have when we are talking about relationships that are very close to us and constant, in which walls are built like on both sides, and they are thick like this because it's been building one wall after the other. It's really hard to break those walls, and it takes a while, and it takes efforts from both sides. So it's a process. The same way that a process built those thick walls on both sides, a process will take them down eventually. But it's a process that it's going to take a while. So you should not listening to me. Did I freeze as well, or just Tati? Okay, Tati, you're back.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, so the first thing is make peace with those walls and with this relationship, and understand that it might take a while, but it's okay if you are committed to that. Okay, Jenny, I hope I'm back. And so about close relationships, you gotta commit and to yourself and to this relationship to change it, you know, and know that it's gonna take a while, and sometimes it's gonna be a nice interaction, sometimes it's gonna be a hard one, but if you will not give up. Right?
Yes.
The second thing is that you jump all the way to empathic thinking in this relationship, like forgiving yourself for everything you did that took this relationship on this negative direction, and forgiving the other person about everything they did that hurt you and that helped bringing up those walls. How do I forgive? You do not have to tell them that you forgive, because they might don't even agree with the reason of forgiveness. Right?
Right.
So to forgive, it's just all you have to do is be willing to let go, and understanding that you are human. You did your best with what you had at the time, and so did the other person. She's human, she's not perfect, and she did what she could with what she had at that time. Unless forgiveness is on site, right? So, and breathe and forgive and understand that we are all humans and nobody's perfect, and everybody tries their best, the best way they can with what they have at the time when things happened. Once you really get in touch with this stage, you will find that it's much easier for you to go to the next step. I really. Oh, Sigma, thank you. Thank you. Follow me at Fabiana Guntovitch. I put a lot of things, and I am working on a podcast in English for you guys. So it will come.
Well, whenever you do, I'll be more than happy to join you.
So, and then think about it. If you really are willing to forgive yourself and the other person, isn't it easier to bring down this wall a little bit? Just a little bit. Right?
Yeah. And well, I think when you said that forgiveness is but forgiving yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Being kind to you.
We cannot forgive another person if we do not forgive ourselves. Just like we cannot love another person when we don't love ourselves.
So we just have
to begin with ourselves.
All right, Fabi. All this talk, and it's like, just love yourself, forgive yourself. That's it. It's not
Believe in
easy.
yourself, respect yourself. It all begins with ourselves. All.
Yes.
And when we do that, it really, really, really makes it easier. And we are able to tell the other person how we feel. You know, this is another very important, very, 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 please write that down if you can. Very important tip in relationships that are really tight and constant in our lives and that are not working very easily. Whenever you tell that person about things that are not working well, like if she's doing something that hurts you, for example, if she's pushing you too hard or if she's being rude, whenever we tell that person, you are rude, you are obnoxious, you know, you're mean, you're cruel, what do you think is going to happen? Will she step down or will she say, I'm not, you are too sensitive, you are sissy, right?
It becomes a battle.
It becomes a battle. So how do we, and not telling them does not work either, because we'll just keep swallowing, and it will make us sick, right?
Right.
So how can we change it? Two things we gotta do. Remember, I do not throw away whatever I said before, right? It's adding up. We should, instead of telling her what she's doing wrong, we should remember she's human, and this kind of attacks are actually defenses. So in a way, she's afraid of what I might throw at her, even without intention. So when you think of it, instead of pointing with a finger what she's doing wrong, tell her, I really gotta talk to you. And I know it might be difficult for you to understand or see it, but whenever this happens, I feel really, really hurt. And I wonder how we could do together in a way that we do things differently. Because I am sure you love me as much not to want me to feel this kind of pain inside myself. You see, it's a totally different way of saying
Yeah.
the same thing. The same thing. But the other person, instead of feeling
Attacked.
pointed out that she's not a good person, she will say, wow, what can I do to help this other person that I love or that I care about? So she won't feel this bad because of something that we both trigger, you know? It's sharing responsibility and showing up with an open heart, saying how you feel. And if this person still don't give a shit about how you're feeling, maybe it tells you something that you gotta know and that you gotta consider. Either it's healthy or not for you to keep being in this relationship, keep showing up. Because sometimes it's not.
Right.
But you will never know unless you show up with love and see what comes back.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Definitely.
Strategy. It's when we talk about strategy, the first thing that comes to my mind, I don't know about yours, is war. Right?
Right.
Never two countries or two people are at war. Both of them try to be strategic in a in a bad way, right? It's being strategic to hurt the other person and win. But strategic is about knowing or trying to figure out what the other side is thinking, what the other side is feeling, what the other side needs, what the other side is afraid of, what the other side hopes for, as well as knowing what we are feeling, what we are thinking, what we are fearing, what we are wishing. And once you put all those information at the table, we are able to use it for love and for connecting and for improving our lives, or for worse. And that's a choice that it's not up to me or up to anyone else. It's up to each and every one of us. So I teach strategy, and I tell people it's up to you how you're going to use it, and the outcome and the consequences are on you. But knowing how to use strategic thinking and acting, and in every single relationship we have in our lives, in every single area of our lives, is very, very, very useful. And it helps us build the life we want, and the relations we want, and the outcomes we hope for.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And it's possible. Not easy. Demands consciousness, demands willingness, demands permission and full-time perception of ourselves, and changing all those negative beliefs and toxic conversations we have with ourselves. But it's so very possible. And I tell you, because I've been there, I've done that, and I've helped people do that. And it's possible. And it's the best news I can bring you.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Tachi. Thank you. It's always so nice being here and sharing and
yes,
being able
it's amazing. You're
to
able
have
to open
some.
our eyes and hopefully give, everyone who's watching a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing things, a better way, right? To
Yeah.
take those strategies and make a better world, make a better life. Because it starts with us.
No one that is feeling good about themselves hurts anyone,
Right.
If you are hurting someone else, it's because you are hurting, right? So
right.
A better self means a better world. As
That's
simple
deep.
as that.
I love it. I love it.
We have 1 minute remaining. And so if you want to talk again next week, I promise you that I'll talk about boundaries in relationships, which is very, very, very important. And we didn't have time today.
I know.
On my to-do list. I did not forget.
I know there's so much. There's so much and not enough time. But thank you for being with us today.
And if you want to talk to me, I just put down my page here. Just go there, follow me, and send me messages. I will be more than willing to answer any question you might have and talk to all of you. It'll be my pleasure.
Perfect. Thank you, Fabi.
Thank you, Tachi.
Have a wonderful weekend.
I'm very happy to see you guys again here.
Yes, if you can, share with us the one that you're putting the subtitles, and we can put it on our page, so then people can continue to watch.
As soon as I have it, I'll share it. Promise.
Wonderful. Beijos.
Bye, Tachi. Thank you so much. Bye, Jenny. Bye, girls. Bye-bye.